Hi everyone, welcome back to another one of my monthly forecasts. If this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Angela Peterson and I am a psychic medium and shamanic practitioner in Sedona, Arizona. As you can all see, I'm in a new location. I'm actually recording from home today. If any of you read my blog post for May, you'll know that I just recently moved into a new house, and it's a beautiful house. I absolutely love it here. It feels so peaceful. Recording in the living room where we have skylights, so it's nice and bright in here. So I would like to make a couple of announcements before I get started into June's monthly forecast. So the first announcement I would like to make is that all new clients who book with me in the month of June can get 22% off their session. So if you have been watching my videos for a while but you haven't booked a session yet with me, then the month of June is the time to do it. And you can book anything as far as a reading goes, mediumship, or even a healing session. I do all of that both in person and online. And the code for that for the month of June is new22. So it's capital N, capital E, capital W, and then 22. And I'll probably put that up here on the screen so you can screenshot it. There will also be a link below for you to book. So I'm looking forward to meeting any new clients, and I hope that you all take advantage of this offer. Another thing I would like to share, I know that many of you are on my email list, but some of you may not be aware that I am now doing 3-day in-person healing retreats, like individualized. So if you are planning a trip to Sedona anytime soon, or if you would just like to come here for a 3-day healing, I have that on my website as well. You can contact me directly if you would like to work with me. I've had at least one person a month for the last 3-4 months book one of these with me, and they have been so amazing. The land here in Sedona is so powerful. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to come and heal. And we've been doing some really deep work. So every person that's left has been very happy with their experience, and I have felt really fulfilled working with each of these people individually as well. So if you are interested in coming to Sedona, please look this up on my website. It's called a 3-day healing journey. Another thing I would like to share is that I do sell packages on my website. So if any of you like to work with me like more long-term, or at least like 3 sessions in a row, something like that, if you have something that you really need to work through, then I do sell packages where you get a discount. You get 20% off if you buy more than 1 session. I have a 2-pack that you can get 15% off if you do like 1 reading and 1 healing session. I also have the 3-pack of healing sessions. So 3-pack, you get 20% off of those. And I do usually, when I work with people, I do recommend 3 sessions if it's a first time thing, or if you just need a little bit more in depth. I think that the number 3 is a great number. Actually, that's why I do the 3-day healing here in Sedona as well. 3 is God time, so it's like you have the beginning, the middle, and the end, right? And not always is it literally a 3, but you always have beginning, middle, and end. And so when you put enough time in there that you can start something, you get to the middle point. The second day, we call it second day, could be the hardest day, the deepest day, and then you come out the other side. That's the 3rd day. So that's like the feeling of relief, and so it's like diving in, working it through, and then coming out the other side. That's the 3. So if you're interested in booking healing with me, I did want you to know that you do get 20% off if you book 3 sessions at a time. And as for that, I think now we will get into the predicted energies for the month of June. So I'm looking forward to June. I'm also a little bit trepidatious about the energies of June. I'm currently shuffling the animal deck right now as I speak. But I did journey into the month. I journeyed into the energy, and I spoke with my guides and asked them to show me what it was that was coming in. So a lot of the energy of June feels very powerful. June kind of feels like a powerhouse, actually. It does also feel a bit like a turning point energetically. So it's really interesting. The image that I kept having was of an incredibly tall tree. And I kept seeing this powerful white light coming in through the top of the tree and shooting down and into the roots or into the earth. So it was like tons of information flooding, tons of inspiration. The month of June is going to be very enlightening. So there's going to be a lot that I feel is going to be revealed in the month of June. It feels kind of like a month of revelation. So you'll no doubt feel the intensity of June. For some people, it will be like a state of bliss, that they're just receiving all of this light from the universe. And others will also be receiving this light, but it might not feel as blissful. It might feel more painful because it brings up a lot of old stuff. So it could be a month where you get triggered with things so that they can be healed. But it could be that you're also experiencing both. It can be both pain and bliss at the same time. I think that would be like a state of joy, right? When we go through these transitions. But June does definitely feel like a month of transition. It feels like being cracked open into a new energetic awareness or another dimension of sorts. There are a few months that have stood out to me when I looked forward at the beginning of the year through 2025, and June was actually one of those months that really stood out to me as sort of a turning point or could be a pivotal time, but it also just feels like a great awakening. So there have been certain months that have been flooding the earth with so much light, the earth and ourselves with tons of light, and June is one of those months. You'll probably receive answers to questions that you've had in the month of June, or some of them may catapult you forward, or it will just feel like an aha, just revelation kind of moment. So a lot of this energy coming in, it feels like a flooding of energy, right? A flooding of information that comes into each of us and probably into the earth herself. So we could be experiencing this in quaking either within ourselves, quaking literally with the earth. There could be earthquakes. There could also be floods, actually. June's coming up as a pretty big water month. And we did have two water animals, or at least animals that relate to water. We have the frog spirit and we have the seahorse spirit. Now, the frog spirit is about purification. It's about cleansing and releasing old baggage. And it literally says on the card, clear out the clutter. So the frog represents rain. I mean, it's connected to rain or the purification that rain brings into our lives. So much of this light is about purification. It's coming in to shake up loose things. Honestly, we've already been experiencing this. We've been experiencing this all through spring, April, May. April was a really intense month. May was pretty intense as well. Excuse me, March. Sorry, no. So it started in March. Yeah. So March was really intense, and then April, and then May has been too, but to a lesser degree, at least in my feeling. So that may have been different for each of us, but June feels like a big bang. Like it's like an extra oomph in that energy of clearing and releasing and purging. So because of this really powerful energy, June is going to crack a lot of things open. It might crack open your heart. It might crack open the earth. Like I said, could be earthquakes. It's going to crack open the truth, right? It's like opening those cans of worms, essentially, and just really revealing things. So when we look at the medicine of the seahorse spirit, this card says watch and wait. This can relate to not entering into the drama, but being more of an outside perspective or holding a bigger perspective than what's happening in the fray, so to speak. So the seahorse is kind of the observer, and it tends to sit back and watch and wait until drama or trauma or anything like that has passed. So the seahorse medicine is actually, it's a guidance card in the way of asking you to be very mindful of what you focus your attention on, but also how much energy you're putting into things and where you're focusing that energy. Be very mindful that you don't get involved in things that will take you out of your core or your center. Because it does feel like with the amount of energy flooding the earth this month that there can be a lot of things coming up in people where we can call it drama. You know, things might be pretty dramatic this month, with a lot of information coming out too, right? Revelation energy happening. Whether that is in our personal lives or it's in the collective energy as well. I feel like it's probably both. It definitely feels collective. So the seahorse is just a reminder to observe, wait before you act, pause before you act. Much of this energy coming in this month of June is going to be very activating for the crown chakra as well as the third eye chakra. So there's going to be, like I said, a lot of inspiration, and inspiration feels very powerful for the month of June. There can be some awakening in spiritual or psychic gifts and abilities. Like they might be enhanced or they might actually come online for a lot of people. The heart chakra is also feeling very active for the month of June. So in a very positive sense, June looks like this energy of connecting the crown, the third eye, and the heart all together. So it's this feeling of coming into harmony or cohesiveness. It's an opportunity for that. There is this feeling that sort of can shift us into an experience of oneness and harmony with one another. Now, that's where I feel the activation happening is in those three chakras. Those ones feel like they're really popping open in this way of expansion and progression and growth. And then I'm also feeling the solar plexus chakra. I'm actually feeling all the lower three. So the lower three are going to be purging, while these upper chakras are going to be expanding. So it's like these ones are receiving all of this information, and it's going to be causing a purge from the lower three chakras, which are the more heavy 3D world related chakras. So they carry a more dense energy within them. And that dense energy is going to be shaking up and shaking loose, which is part of that frog spirit medicine of clearing out the clutter. So some of the physical symptoms that you may be experiencing this month, they can very much relate to the head. There could be headaches happening, anything kind of with the head, and then the eyes. The eyes feel like you could experience some blurriness with the eyes, but I wouldn't worry about it. It feels like something that's temporary. It's like it's an adjustment in vision, and it might happen on the physical as well as on the spiritual. In the month of May, a lot of people were really experiencing physical symptoms in the gut. So like stomach issues, cramping, nausea, constipation, diarrhea, all of these stomach issues were really being highlighted in the month of May. And even actually April, I was feeling them in April as well, and possibly even March. But May was very highlighted for that. And we may still have more of that. So if you're still in the purging process, then that might be a very sensitive area for you currently. And that's definitely linked with those lower three chakras, especially that solar plexus chakra. So there could be things connected to the spleen, the pancreas, the stomach. And then I'm also feeling the lungs. So some of you could be experiencing a heaviness in the lungs. This heaviness feels like a collective energy of a lot of suppressed emotion. So it feels like the opportunity this month is to really pay attention to that heaviness. It's almost like it gets more intense before it pops open. You do need to allow the pop, though. You need to allow that release of emotion that you may be holding in the chest. It feels like it could be fear. So I feel like fear kind of taking the breath of life, and then maybe grief as well. So however grief is showing up in your life, whatever endings you have taking place before new beginnings or simultaneously, there's a lot of that energy happening for people as well right now. There's a lot of endings and beginnings happening in that simultaneous place where the new beginnings are incredibly joyful, whereas the endings are very painful. But I'm noticing like the people that I know who are experiencing this, I'm noticing them in this place of joy with it. It's like, even though there's so much grief that they're purging and they're moving through, there's also this joy about the new beginnings that are coming, and in some ways that's like, maybe a loved one dies and then you give birth to a new child. Like that's kind of what this energy looks like right now. For those of you who need it, I was asking for advice for how to navigate the month of June. We got two cards here. We have Sad Embrace This is from the Enchanted Map Oracle cards, one of my favorite decks. And the Sad Embrace card really talks about just allowing yourself to feel your emotions. So I did already mention this actually. It's giving yourself full permission to really feel and express what it is you are feeling. And this could be old or it could be really present. You know, it could be something happening in your life right now that is either triggering something from the past or that is creating these feelings and of sadness or grief, loss. So like I said, endings and beginnings, there is a lot of loss happening in various ways, just like a loss of a lifestyle, a certain way of living, certain way of being, loss of loved ones. And a really big one actually that I'm sensing right now is this loss of, in a way, it's identity, and it's also the way that you've known life to be, right? It's reality. It's the loss of a certain reality, even though maybe it was never real in the first place. It's this construct that we have, this idea of what life is, feels like it's changing for a lot of people. And so this is part of this sadness that people are experiencing. And there is a grief of, you know, the world is changing. And as it changes, it's going to really fluctuate in what's positive and what's negative. There's a lot of upheaval in that. And so people are having to really let go of what they thought life was going to be like, or these long held illusions, the structure of life, right? That this feeling that I am safe. And in all of that, we're really having to learn how to trust ourselves much, much more. The other card we had is called Moonlight. And Moonlight is all about, it did come out in the reverse, so I'm going to take that as a sign of something as well. But the Moonlight card is about activation of psychic ability. It's about really, really learning to trust your own intuition. And it's about facing your fear. So when the moon comes up, and these cards look very similar. You see all the colors, and then the moon is in both of them. The moon represents emotions. So it's your emotional life. It's also your home life. So that's the other thing too. Maybe you need to look at your home life, and is anything in your home life need to change? Are you grieving anything about your home life? The place you live or the people you live with? Is there anything changing on that front? But also, this is really about facing the fear of painful emotions and moving through the painful emotions. So these coming out together, it's like you're not going to have real clarity. You're not going to really know or understand what your intuition is telling you unless you process through the emotions you're feeling first. Emotions sit on top of information that is within you. So your information it's like there's a truth that sits beneath it. So if I'm having anxiety, if I'm feeling anxious or fearful about something, and I actually stop, I take some deep breaths and I let myself drop into my body. So I'm slowing clear down. I'm dropping into the anxiety. I'm allowing it to be there. I'm giving it permission. I'm receiving it. I'm asking it what its message is for me, right? So it's no longer resisting. Once my resistance leaves, I can actually drop through the feeling, and it starts to ease, it starts to dissipate. And not only that, it gives me an answer. The answer is underneath the anxiety or the fear, whatever emotion it is that you're experiencing. Emotion is just a compass. It tells you whether or not you're in alignment or you're out of alignment with your higher self, with your spirit, with your soul, with your desires, all of that. So when you're experiencing negative emotion, it's telling you you're out of alignment. When you experience positive emotion, it's telling you you're in alignment. But negative emotion is not something that you can bypass. So if you're in a negative emotion, you must deal with it directly. You must walk through that. You have to walk through the tunnel to get to the other side, always. So you move through the negative emotion, you acknowledge it, you process it, and then it gives you clarity, and it actually brings more information in about who you are, what your path is, what your purpose is, what you need, what you want, what you desire, all of those things. and it lines you back up. But you are going to eventually experience negative emotion again, and it's going to do the same thing. And every time it lines you up more and more with your higher self. So emotion is something that is, like, we're in an emotional dark age, or we have been. It's something that people do not fully understand. And even people who think they do, when they come to see me and they're like, and I say, you need to feel your emotion. They're like, I do. I feel my emotion. I feel sad all the time. I'm like, that's not feeling sadness. That is the resistance to sadness. If you actually let yourself feel the sadness, what happens is it moves all the way through and it becomes released. So when you feel a sense of relief, you know you've released an emotion. You know you've allowed it its full cycle, and now you feel better. This is going to be the key for the month of June, okay? I've probably taught this to many of you before. You've probably heard me talk about this process of emotion, of cycling through your emotions before. But this is very important to pay attention to in the month of June. With the energies like they are, it's going to be intense, and you're going to need to really pay attention to what you're feeling. You're going to need to process. You need to process more and more and more. Otherwise, you will feel worse and worse and worse. So face your fears. Face your fears, especially on an emotional front, especially from a vulnerable standpoint. Well, that is everything I have for you. So I hope you all have an amazing month of June, and really, stay grounded. Do your best to stay grounded. Connect with the trees. Connect with the trees this month. There's a reason I saw a tree in my vision, and yes, it's symbolic, but it's also literal. So connect with the trees to help you stay grounded and be a tree. See yourself as a tree every day. You can do this meditation where you ground your roots in and you receive information from the earth, and then you stretch your limbs up high to the sky. You receive information from the heavens, divinity, whatever you want to call it. But this will create also this peaceful equilibrium within yourself. The heart is the center point. So bring those energies up and bring them down and meet them in the heart space. You can do this visualization daily, and it will help you immensely with navigating the energies of this month. And of course, I am always here. So if you feel like you need some assistance and some guidance, then please click the link below and book yourself a session. I look forward to working with you. Take care.